What's going on? My name is Oreo Token, and today we're going to be continuing our hand cannon comparison series with the True Prophecy and the Bottom Dollar. The reason why these two are together is because arguably these might be the hardest two to get. Even though Igneous and Steady Hand are only around once a month, basically, these two, Bottom Dollar and True Prophecy, are technically around all the time. But their drop rate is so abysmal. It's so hard to farm a good one. So that's why these two are compared together and kind of mashed up together. And we'll basically go through the perk list and what's there, and then kind of choose which one is the best for the comparison. And then after that, we will take the winner of today and compare it versus the Steady Hand and see which one works the best overall. So let's go ahead and get started into the video. Alright, so we're going to start off with the True Prophecy, our 120 primary hand cannon. This weapon has been around in the game for a good while. Obviously, 120s were not always meta, but there was a time where 120s were actually pretty strong too, going back to our Duke and our True Prophecy. And so, at that time, we had a lot of True Prophecies we could play with and use, and then as sunsetting came in, it was sunset. Then Season Arrivals came, and it was also in the loophole, and so you could farm them. So if you were able to get your hands on a True Prophecy back then, congratulations, I'm happy for you because you were able to hold on to it and keep it this whole time, even knowing sunsetting was looming in front of you, so good for you. For the rest of us who did not do that, the True Prophecy is a Banshee drop. And that means you have to go to Banshee and cash in all of your weapon parts, gunsmith parts, to get this weapon. Now, to say that it drops often, I'd just be lying to you. This drop takes literally forever. There are streams of people who are recording how long it takes for them to get your prophecy, and they're going through 10,000 weapon parts to get one gun. And that's just ridiculous. So, if you happen to get one, you should probably hold on to it because it is a very good gun. So let's talk about what makes this gun pretty decent. So last video we covered what's so unique about 120 hand cannons and why they're good right now. So if you want to go back, take a look at the link in the description up top and you can go take a look at that. But let's talk about this specific weapon, True Prophecy. Looking at the big things here, our recoil direction is a 93, so basically it is almost a vertical recoil direction when you shoot it, so counterbalance mod is not needed. After that, we were going to have 9 bullets in the magazine on it, averaging right around there, which is typical for about a 120 cannon. So if you really wanted to, you could put back a mod on it, but there might be some other choices that you might want to look at. Then, looking at that, stability is pretty low at 30, but there's some options in there to help increase your stability, which is definitely something you want to look out for your controller players. After that, there is also a good aim assist of 62. It's about average for a hand cannon, but this gun does feel pretty snappy. So I think that's something to do with that feeling, the 62 value, and just overall reticle sights on the True Prophecy. Alright, starting with the sights. We have really 6 to choose from here, and I'm going to point out basically the big 2 that are best for console and best for PC. For console, I personally would say either Steady Hand or Fast Draw. The reason why is because stability on Steady Hand is plus 10 and handling is plus 10. And then Fast Draw is also handling plus 15, stability plus 5. Those are going to make this gun feel extremely steady. Really easy to repeatedly hit shots. I know range is always nice on hand cannon, but I almost think stability is more important to maintain your reticle on the head versus reaching out further. Now looking at our PC version for this sight, I prefer range and stability overall. So with that being said, there's not one that both really gives a significant boost to either or. So for myself, I prefer range on PC because I feel like stability is a lot easier to control with the mouse and keyboard. But that being said, I would either go with sure shots or hit marks. The reason why is Sure Shot gives you that plus 10 range, which is huge, but it also gives you minus 10 stability. But if you wanted at least a little bump in range, I would go with your hit marks because you're not taking away anything for stability. So those are the two I would choose for PC. Looking at the magazine, there's really two good options here. Accurized rounds, which is a plus 10 in range, and steady rounds, which gives you a plus 15 stability but minus 5 in range. So you could pair that with your sights and really kind of average out to plus 10 range and stability if you're looking close to using your Sure Shot sight. So if you get that roll, go for that, but if not, yes. Good luck. Looking at our final two perk choices. The recommended for PvP is Overflow, Rangefinder, and Opening Shot. Personally, Opening Shot I think is the best for PvP. Starting engagements, you have basically a headshot your first shot. Huge win there. But Rangefinder, if you want to go with reducing your range on the scopes and the mags, Rangefinder also will help too, to balance out adding more stability. And then Overflow, just in general, gives you more ammo, so you don't have to reload. Reloading kills you, for me, kills me most of the time, so if I can get around that, that's huge. But I prefer Opening Shot as my first perk. After that, there are really three really good perks here that might not be considered as great perks, but three are the best. Rampage, Time Payload, Explosive Payload. Rampage basically is on every gun. You get one kill, the next kill is basically 2-tap. That's how that works. If you had Rampage spun up, you can put Rampage spec on it to make Rampage last longer. That's up to you. But Explosive Payload makes your gun feel so steady. From range, the range drop off on Explosive Payload really doesn't exist because half of your damage comes at the point of impact. And you can see 2 damage numbers pop up when you hit that person. And then Time Payload actually can 2-tap without any damage perks with it. So what happens is Time Payload, when it hits somebody, has a delayed, it's kind of like Explosive Payload, when it hits you, has delayed damage numbers come up. But also it has almost a small tick mark at the end of using Time Payload, which kind of basically puts you over the threshold to get a 2-tap versus 3-tap. It's something that you won't necessarily see a lot of people using, but it can 2-tap without damage perks. So with that being said, if you get a Time Payload, don't trash it. It can be good. Very situational. If you're hitting your headshots, that's very interesting to look at. So use that. Alright, the second gun we're going to look at today is the bottom dollar. This is a 120 hand cannon that drops in Gambit. I know, Gambit. I said Gambit. Gambit. So it drops in Gambit, and it is basically an end of drop reward that happens sometimes when you get a weapon or when you get drops at the end. So personally, the only time I've ever gotten the bottom dollar in Gambit is from a loss. I'm not saying go up purposely and throw, but losing's not necessarily bad in game because it seems like for me, it gave me bottom dollars from losses. For others, you get them from wins. I mean, I get it, but I've reset my infamy twice and I've only received 2 bottom dollars. Yeah, and when I got them, they were back-to-back drops, back-to-back games. So it's a little tough to get the bottom dollar. I know they buffed the drop rate, but it's still a little tough to get the bottom dollar, and you'll see why it's even harder to get what you want on the bottom dollar in a second. So let's kind of take a look at it. Alright, so as you see by this photo here of all the options you can get, I'm not going to put a chart up there of plus or minus for all of these because the chart would be absolutely massive and take up the entire screen. So let's point out a couple ones that are important. Hammer Forged Rifling, plus 10 to range. That is a good one, no drawbacks, good stuff. Polygonal Rifling, plus 10 to stability. That is just a straight stability buff as well. I would do that. Combination of the two is Small Bore, plus 7 to range, plus 7 to stability. Last but not least, if you don't care about your handling, there's one other one that I would recommend, and that is going to be Chambered Compensator, or 2 actually, or Extended Barrel. Either plus 10 to range, plus 10 to recoil, or plus 10 to stability, plus 10 to recoil. But they both have minus 5 handling, so if you don't care about your handling, that's one way to do it. Looking at your magazine, personally, kind of the same thing. Accurized rounds, steady hand are your top 2 right there. But if you really want, Tac Mag is also really good. It gives you +5 stability, +10 to reload. I think it gives you 1 extra bullet. And reload speed is +10. So 1 extra bullet without having to put a backup mag on. And a little bit more stability. So that will give you 1 more bullet to play with if you're looking to chain those kills with other perks that are in here, which you could do. Alright, so there is just so many options here for the next 2 perks. Honestly, I'm going to list out like 5 or 6, and if you get that because it's so hard to get your bottom dollar, good luck, and I would just recommend it. So talking about the first perk, Rapid Hit, very good hit perk. Outlaw, another good one. Killing Wind, also good. Rangefinder, another good one. And then Surplus and Quick Draw. Highly recommend those going forward. Not saying the other ones are bad, just saying those pair really well with the next column. So let's take a look at the next column. Couple ones staying off. Multi-kill clip, which is a great perk if you can reload quickly. And Rampage, which is a great perk to chain kills, which is said before. After that, I would stick with Explosive Payload, Opening Shot, and that's basically it. The other ones are very situational for PvP. If you want to look at PvE, you could maybe get around with a Demolitionist. Unrelenting it can be good for both. It's a mid-tier, but damage perks always seem like they take cake here. I would definitely say Multi-Kill Clip and Rampage, but Explosive Payload and Opening Shot could pair really well. Think about it. Quick Draw, Opening Shot. You just get out of slide, pop your gun up, shoot somebody in the face. Really good combinations in here. But the problem is, there's so many options and it's so hard to get the gun. It will take a very long time to get a good roll. And when you do, it's like, oh my god, I finally got something good. So, play Gambit recreationally. Not saying to go farm it, but if you can get a good roll, you can get a good roll. So, which one wins? Is it the True Prophecy or the bottom dollar? And that is a really tough question, because both of these guns have great potential. Both of these guns are really hard to farm. And it comes down to a couple of key factors. And let's start off with that. The first one is feel. For me, personally, I like the feel of the bottom dollar better. True Prophecy is very similar to City Hand, but I like the feel of the bottom dollar. Secondly, what can you pair with this weapon? There are some very good snipers and shotguns in primary and secondary slot. Right now, Fellwinter's is king. Because of that, True Prophecy pairs very well with that. Astral can have max range, but Fellwinter's is key. So, True Prophecy wins on that end. And then, I would go, making that a tough, split. I need to have a tiebreaker. What will we use for the tiebreaker? And what I'm going to say for the tiebreaker is ease of access to get a God Pool. And because of that, the True Prophecy is going to win, seeing how small the perk pool is on the two. Now, if you get a True Prophecy, I'm not going to say it's going to be God roll, but if you do get a True Prophecy, it might be easier to get the roll, a good roll, versus the bottom dollar, which has so many other options. So with that being said, I'm going to choose the True Prophecy. Okay, so now that we have the True Prophecy as our deciding winner, we have a nice little matchup here. The Steady Hand versus the True Prophecy. I know, that is literally the older two of the hand cannons versus the two new hand cannons, Igneous and Bottom Dollar. We might do a constellation bracket where Bottom Dollar versus Igneous, the tried and true, which one's better. That would be a fun one to do. But the winner overall is going to be between the Steady Hand and the True Prophecy. So thank you guys for stopping by. Let me know what you think about the two comparisons. Do you like the Bottom Dollar over the True Prophecy? Do you have a God roll of either one? How do they play? How do they feel? Let me know. I can only play with what I have, and I don't know if I don't have the God rolls for either one. So let me know how they feel if you do have a God roll for a True Prophecy or the Bottom Dollar, and let me know if you agree or disagree. Leave that in the comment section. Once again, my name is Oreo Token. Have an amazing day. Hopefully, I'll see you guys in D2, PC, or PS4. Not quite on Xbox, sorry about that, guys, but I'll see you guys around, and have an awesome day. Bye-bye.